Yeah, I think most people do it. I'm sure there's always cases where you trust somebody, and to me, it's more the range of the game. If it's going to get out of hand, we were at Texas, and those guys had two fouls, and then I think it was Barry and I can't remember Barry and Dean or something, or Xavier it was, I think, and we put him back in with a couple minutes left and went zone, just trying to protect him, but. You always take that chance. Like Dean ran into a guy and got his fourth foul. It's just it may not be reaching in or whatever, and you if it, I thought the game was within range, and it was 7 points. It was four here. It's a couple possessions, and you go back into that second half and hopefully have a fresh start, and we just didn't do enough otherwise. So I don't know. I've done it 40 years, and I think basically the people I've worked for have always done that. When I watch games, most of the people do it. I'm sure there's some people that'll take the chance.
I mean, would you say that's a consistent thing that you always do it and you don't bring them back in, or is it just kind of like?
I think it's a game. For the most part, you don't want to, but again, if it's the score starts getting where, you're going to lose the game, then you go take a chance and get them back in so it doesn't get too out of hand. You start getting down 15-17 on the road, it's tough to come back.
With Dean battling the foot stuff, how much have you seen him going at each game just kind of, I don't know, debating how hard he can go, how aggressive he can be?
I don't think that's the problem. I just don't think it's not like riding a bike. You can't, you don't ride a bike for 30 years. You can jump on a bike. You know how to do it. It's basketball. It's rhythm and balance and, just feeling good. And then, Dean is who he is. He's not the most confident guy, and he needs confidence. And, he gets bumped, he turns it over. Now he gets a little tentative. And you saw it in Iowa State game here. You saw it against Kansas. He just it takes him a little bit of time to get going with it. And we know it, but there's, it's like I've said, I'd rather have him in the games than not have him play. And, hopefully, Luke they pushed him a little bit yesterday with shooting and moving a little bit. We'll see how he can do, maybe get involved a little bit. Just maybe not the whole practice and grind it out, but just start feeling better about himself. My goal is that, I'm hoping, and all goes well, that maybe we get him and Cam back for practices next week as we finish up the last part of the season.
You're talking with Texas Tech now. Do you tell the guys, hey, none of this matters chasing the title if you don't take care of business on Saturday?
Well, it's just, Saturday's Saturday, I said it to you guys, 8-10 days ago, Baylor was going to be a big game, and I knew it would be, and, they found a way to win last night. They're right in the race, too. They play very physical, play very hard. They played at a high level. They know. It's game by game. That's all you can do. You got to get ready, for Baylor. That's got to be our immediate focus.
Last year, Kansas won the league by 2 games. The year before that, they won by 4. Is this league maybe as close as it's been in a while?
I think a lot of people since Christmas or whatever have said the balance is as good as it's ever been. Even though I think last year obviously you had 4 teams in the Sweet 16 and 3 in the 8 and 1 in the 4, so it's pretty good. But you saw it by the games this whole week. It's triple overtime. So there's just really good balance, and a couple of those games were with the teams at the bottom of the league. So no one's quitting. Everybody's competing, and great balance in the league. It's unbelievable.
At this point, is there a chance of getting Cardi back in the regular season?
I don't want to get everyone's hopes up, but he can condition now. He can jump, he can run. He just can't use his hand. And then, a week from now, I think, the goal is to, see how the pain threshold, where it is, do another x-ray or whatever on it. And but he's made progress. He's done a good job. And I guess your biggest thing would be maybe, it would be the soonest would probably be the Big 12 tournament and maybe a little practice and then that part.
You guys have won 5 straight against Baylor. It's the best winning streak that guys had over Baylor in the history of the Big 12 Conference. What do you think's been the key in that stretch?
We've competed with them in toughness-wise, and they had kicked our butt before that. And I like you start looking at the numbers, and you know Baylor, you see zone, you see this and that, and it's about toughness. Got it. And these guys are as tough, probably tougher than his other teams. So a couple of years ago, I just told our guys when we went there when they were number 2 or whatever. I think we lost to them here. They had like. Points in the paint. It was like 36-16. It was offensive rebounds, 18. Last night they had 19. It's just I just said if you guys want to have a chance, you got to stand up and match them. And I thought Kansas took it to us physically a little bit the other night. They were the tougher team, and if we're going to continue the streak, we're going to have to match their physicality and intensity.
How much differently does the game become now that they get Mason and maybe even McClure back, and you guys don't have Cartier?
Yeah, it makes a little bit of a difference. You saw McClure last night. I didn't get to see the game. I was recruiting, but the coach just said he just didn't have much rhythm in that, and they just played him a little bit. And even Mason is has had some struggles, but I know he's capable of doing some things. But it gives them more depth. I think that's the biggest thing, and obviously it takes away from our depth, but that means everyone else has to step up and do a little more and be a little more efficient.
Coach, we ask a lot of questions about injuries and health. Would you say this team is normal at this point of the year for where it is health-wise, or is the stuff with Cam and Dean and Cardi, more than what you typically be dealing with?
Oh, way beyond. Yeah, and it's usually it's bumps and bruises and right. You got your colds and flu or whatever, but these are Dean's had 2 serious injuries, and Cam has had a serious injury, and Cardi obviously has a serious injury. So yeah, they've been you got to give them some credit. They've been pretty resilient. We've had to deal with a lot, and we still have. We're still up there in the league. If you after losing the first 2, what are we in the next stretch? We're
11-2.
Yeah, so it's pretty good in a league that he just talked about it, the balance and everything else. So they've been pretty resilient and tough, and hopefully that continues.
Bruce, going back to Dean for a minute, you said he's not the most confident guy. How rare is that? Just because so many times great players, part of what makes them great is just that kind of.
I think more it's his personality. He just doesn't have that. Some guys are, they think they're really cool, and they're, you know what I mean. Barry's very, very confident. Yeah, he just, and Dean's just a great kid, great person, but he, and I thought he would have worked his way through it, but I think, just what he's gone through this year has probably knocked him back a notch, just, feeling good about himself. And, that's kind of my hope and goal is for him, that he gets that confidence as we finish the stretch run and into postseason, and he can play at a high level for himself and for us.
I'm looking here, Bruce, and more times than not, when your senior trio of Dean, Barry, and Kamau score more than 50 points, you guys are pretty successful. How big are those 3 guys to your success?
Oh, there's no doubt. I just said without Cardi, you guys asked. I said, well, that means everyone else has to be more efficient. And obviously, if your top guys play well, it really helps you. And so, them playing well. Your best players, if you're going to win, your best players are going to play well. That's usually the case. And you once in a while you have Lightfoot steps up for them. Grimes makes some shots he hasn't made in a while or something. But your consistent guys, Lawson, Dotson, played well. And then you add something into the mix, it always helps.
I just mean because last time you guys played Baylor in Manhattan, those guys combined for 50 points. Dean had 24, Barry had 18, Cam had 7.
And we still had to fight our butts off to win here because the one kid had 30-something, right? And so they're, it's very similar to last year that we went to their place and won. Now coming home near the end of the season, you got to step up and play at a high level because Scott's done a great job. I've said it more than enough times that he definitely deserves consideration for Coach of the Year, if not being the Coach of the Year in the league.
And speaking of that, I mean, with their injury situation, they lost a big guy, obviously, and then now even Mason not contributing as much as he was. How many evolutions have you kind of seen there?
Yeah, they've had and we went through it last year, and we've done it a little bit this year. You got to tweak things. You got to change personalities. You got to do some different things, and but it's the coaches, but it's also players accepting it and figuring it out and going in and changing their roles.
What's the next step for Mac? See him taking this.
A little more consistency. I think his energy, his motor's been better, consistent, and now just being a little more consistent on offense. I thought he was really good early in the game. He was defensively against Kansas. He was running around, and then he just got 2 cheap fouls, and it's too bad. And then, he goes back in and, maybe play a little stronger on those shots that were blocked, I guess. Go through the guy and make sure you get fouled. I don't know, but just being a little tougher and more consistent.
We've asked a lot of questions about the Big 12 standings. How do you manage just making a one game at a time mentality with the players while also talking about the big picture?
I don't, their goal is to win the championship. I mean, that's everyone's goal, and there's 3-4 teams that still probably can do it, and but you can't win a champ. You can't win 3 in a row unless you win the first one. So it's just, it's pretty simple, and hopefully we have a mature group that's they know they've been through, trying to finish strong and doing the right things at the end of the season.
I know earlier this season you mentioned that you called Barry Tampa to kind of try to get under his skin. Is there like a town near St. John you can do?
I don't know. Central Plains was his rival, so I don't know. But aren't they the Oilers or whatever? Central Plain Oilers.